we could use a little fun and joy in our lives. And so that's what Mardi Gras means to me.
Mardi Gras started, at least during my tenure here, about 6 years ago. It was my second year here, and I was working with the families in religious ed, and we were kind of trying to figure out how to teach the kids what Mardi Gras was and how to come together as families for some kind of a celebration in the middle of the winter. So, the diocese always encourages us to participate in Catholic Relief Services Operation Rice Bowl, and we thought coming together as a family for Mardi Gras would be a great way to kick off Operation Rice Bowl. So we did a little bit of research to discover that in France, there's a tradition of having pancakes for dinner for Mardi Gras. It goes to the whole thing of trying to clean out the cupboards of all of what we would call the carbs, but the flour, the butter, the sugar, all the sweet things before Lent begins. And so we said, let's have a pancake dinner. And that first Mardi Gras turned out to be a really nice family party. Pancakes, kids, a little bit of comedy, a lot of laughter, and a way to start Operation Rice Bowl. The tradition of Mardi Gras comes from Lent, from Ash Wednesday. Really, it's connected integrally to Ash Wednesday. We know that Ash Wednesday is the beginning of how we celebrate our 40 days of Lent. Mardi Gras is that last hurrah before we enter into 40 days of prayer, fasting, and abstinence, almsgiving.
I'm a New Yorker, born and bred. I've never celebrated Mardi Gras actually before being a member of our church. I always kind of knew what it was and knew that it was about fun, about having fun right before Lent started.
Mardi Gras for me is a special time because I went actually to New Orleans and actually saw all the Mardi Gras parade. Every year it's special to me. It's a great time to relax before we start into thinking of Lent and a little more serious.
Since we began with a family pancake dinner, the way it's evolved over the years has really been beautiful to see. The folks who were those original actors and comedians in our first Mardi Gras dinner were folks who were committed to LGBTQ causes and social justice causes, and those two groups in the parish came together to offer their services to help grow this and spread it out to be more involved in community issues. So in addition to supporting financially Catholic Relief Services, it became a bigger event.
Mardi Gras has turned into an opportunity for us to really highlight who we are as a parish, especially our mission to give a big welcome to everyone.
One of the things that was really special for me, our neighbors who are friends of ours, they're an LGBT couple, and he had been kind of alienated from the church, and I invited them to the party last year, and they were really excited to see how welcoming our parish was for everyone. And to me, that's just a wonderful thing that we can be open and welcoming to everyone in our community.
It is, what we do, right? It is done right before the beginning of Lent. And that we're going back to those, our Catholic principles of social justice, of serving the poor and the marginalized. This is actually the 5th year, I believe, if my count is correct, that the LGBTQ Alliance at St. Francis is participating in Mardi Gras. And these have been the charities of choice. And I know that for Catholic Relief Services, which for anyone who doesn't know, they reach more than 130 million people in more than 100 countries on 5 continents. Ali Forney Center, their mission is to protect LGBTQ youth from the harms of homelessness and empower them with the tools needed to live independently.
Especially now, since the pandemic has happened, we see that there is a rise of homeless people out on the streets. And at a time when we know that the organizations that help them are struggling as well, I'm really proud to support someone like the Ali Forney Center, because they're helping the homeless, they're helping, a particularly marginalized community. And, at the end of the day, that's what St. Francis de Sales, our parish, is all about. It's about, being there for people on 96th Street and beyond. And we're very inclusive. So, everyone, all of God's children are our brothers and sisters. So it makes me very proud that we can support an organization like that.
Why I think it's important that we do something this year, even though we can't connect in person, is because these organizations need help. If you're not going to church, or if you're not on their mailing list, you might not have your rice bowl this year. If you're not going to church in person, of course, because you guys are doing an awesome job at having mass online. So I know that many of us, even though we're not there in person, we're there in spirit and online. So, if you don't have your little cardboard rice bowl this year, this is still a way to contribute and to help those in need of, real food, substance for life.
So we're in a pandemic. How do we celebrate Mardi Gras? Well, obviously, we're not going to get together with lots of groups of people if we can't do that for Christmas, Easter, or a Super Bowl. But there's nothing that says you can't have pancakes with your kids or your family for dinner on Tuesday night. Crepes is a nice alternative. What kind of a dinner do you want to make that night? And be intentional about saying, let's have something special tonight because tomorrow we're not going to eat a lot. The idea of the king cake from New Orleans.
With the king's cake, there's a little baby hidden inside. And if you're lucky enough to get that little baby, that means you're supposed to host the party next year. So there is always that risk. So be careful if you are invited to eat a piece of king cake.
Make a special dinner. Is it going to be jambalaya? Is it going to be pancakes? Whatever you want it to be, but be intentional about what you're eating that night, remembering that tomorrow on Ash Wednesday you're going to fast. I would be remiss if I didn't remind you, us all, to say a prayer the night of Mardi Gras, to ask God to bless the food that we have that night and bless our world, to remember those who go without as we enter into Lent. But say a prayer.
Hope and we pray that next year we'll be partying again and having fun.
Have a wonderful day. Celebrate Mardi Gras. Let the good times roll.
Let the good times roll. For us, happy Mardi Gras.
You want to keep that party going? Well, follow the link in this video's description or go directly to bit.ly/SFDS Mardi Gras and celebrate with the sounds of New Orleans.
Laisse-les bon temps rouler.